and welcome to Charlestown and Beyond. I'm Kathy Giordano and I'm your host. Welcome. It's really a great show tonight. I know I shouldn't say that, boasting, but this is going to be one of the good ones, the great ones, and I'm going to get right into it. We're going to be talking with the folks involved with Turn It Around, a wonderful youth program in Charlestown. And to my immediate left, I want to introduce Michael Smokey Kane. Michael is a recovery coach at the North Suffolk Mental Health, and he works closely with young adults in Charlestown in the prevention of drug abuse. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Cookie. Good to see you.
Thank you for
having
being
us
here. And next to Michael is
Hi.
Shannon Lundeen. Shannon is a community outreach coordinator to CSAC, and she currently works at the Turn It Around program, but she's also, her paid job is at the Mass General. Welcome, Shannon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
And lastly, but not leastly, is Gretchen Wagner. Gretchen, now, are you the director of Turn It Around? You seem to have the room where they all gather up at the Boys Club and Girls Club.
I'm the coordinator.
The coordinator. Okay. And she's the program coordinator for education and prevention with CSAC. So welcome, all three of you.
Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to have you with us tonight. Let me ask the three of you, what was the inspiration to bring this program around, Turn It Around?
So Charlestown was one of the top communities in all of Massachusetts of deadly overdoses. And
Had the highest fatal overdose rate in Massachusetts at one point.
No kidding.
And a lot of the young people in Charlestown are affected by this, whether directly or indirectly. And some of our colleagues, unfortunately, a director of Charlestown Substance Abuse Coalition, Sarah Coughlin, who is not here with us, gathered a lot of these young people together to start a media campaign as a way to spread awareness about the dangers of prescription drugs that are easily found in medicine cabinets and an easy gateway for young people to get addicted and engaged in using harder drugs.
So you went out, and how did it start? How did you get the kids to get involved?
So it's by connection that we have with a lot of these young people. It's through conversations that we've had with some of them, and again, like we said, we worked with a group at Mass General Hospital to start a poster campaign where the kids came up with an idea of the upside down high. So you think about, you get so high, but then your world turns upside down, and so that's where the Turn It Around logo comes from.
Great logo.
The colors are also kind of a reflection of prescription drugs, are many different colors, and it's kind of what kids see at parties. They call them Skittle parties, and but then they created a bunch of posters that exemplified a lot of these drugs, and then they talked about some of the reasons why young people or old people or anybody in general might use drugs, and it's normal problems like family issues, stress, pressure, feeling alone. Sometimes people are just experimenting and they can't stop the chase of that first high.
So why do you do events? The events that you do, something's coming up, a basketball tournament? Why do you do that?
It's the second annual basketball tournament. We had a really very successful year last year. We had 80 kids come out?
We had about 50 kids playing, but there was definitely over 100 kids at the tournament.
and so it was a 2-day tournament where the night before we had a big pasta dinner down at the YMCA, and we split the kids up into teams, and we had some of the Turn It Around kids, just give a description of what Turn It Around's all about, and the next day it was pretty awesome to see all those kids come together.
Smokey, you got to get in here now. You're not a shy person. Do you think the program Turn It Around is being effective? Is it?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, I don't even know why I'm here.
Well, that's great.
Cookie, listen, I'm involved in everything in Charlestown, or I want to be, through my DJing. I'm blessed and humble enough to be able to work with so many organizations. I met these two angels through a few tragedies, actually, a few years back.
You've known me your whole life.
I've known you my whole life, but the other angels I'm talking about, both Sarah and Gretchen. You know, I started watching what these guys were doing. You know, I started DJing some of their events, and how can you beat an organization like this, where there's a bunch of kids on any given day, maybe 20 or 30 kids, just sitting around planning events to give back to the community. On the drive over here, we just noticed some of the daffodils that were planted starting to bloom in Charlestown. You know, we've given coats and gloves and hats and everything to the kids and the
Gifts.
mothers at the YMCA. I mean, we plan events like the Halloween, Fall Festival. We work very closely with, you know, with Chad, and all we're trying to do is just spread awareness, spread the message, and educate people.
One thing that I've heard a couple of the kids in the Turn It Around group like say constantly is like, when I was growing up or when I was younger, there's no other program like this. You know, and so I know that one of their hopes for Turn It Around is for it to become much bigger than it already is, and you know, across the state.
Okay, all right, you're talking about the program, and there is nothing else like it. What is the program? What is going on? Turn It Around, you have a group of young people involved. What do they do? What do you teach them? What do they do on their own?
So we meet about once a week, and we do plan a lot of events, but we also spend these meetings as a part of time to talk about the realities of substance use in their lives. And I think traditionally what has happened in any kind of substance use prevention program is there is an adult who has all of their research, and they go in and they tell the kids what they know, and then they think that's what we need to do. Education is a big part of it, but I think education has to come not just from the person who's the educator, but also from those that we are trying to educate. And part of what we see the Turn It Around program to be is about a youth program driven and run by youth. And they are so close to the reality.
Yes,
and
they
yes,
live
we,
the
we
reality.
were all kids at
Yeah.
one time, but you know, life circumstances, maturity has allowed me to be where I am now, and it's easy to forget what life is like as a 14, 15, 16, 20, you know, we work with kids from 14 to 23 years old, and beyond. I mean, we don't have any limitations, but
And our group's definitely gotten larger over the past year, where more kids are interested and want to be part of Turn It Around because they see our ads in the T stops and in the bus stations, and they see us promoting our events, and so they really want to know more about Turn It Around and what it's about and be part of that.
Okay, let me say this then. You're basically saying is that the program, it really is for the kids, by the kids,
Yep.
through their personal experiences. The adults are giving them their wisdom. You know,
And
what
speaking of the adults, I want to make sure that we include Sergeant Jamie Chambers from the National Guard,
He's part of the Turn It Around
George
crew.
Dighton,
Great.
who
Yeah,
we
George
you know
Dighton.
invited on just in the past year or so. But Cookie, we told you know the struggles of adolescence, the stuff that kids are going
that's
through
bad
these
enough.
days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great organization.
Yeah.
It's great
I
people.
think what we try to do, and like what Smokey said, I mean, working with all of these adults and kids and thinking about the basketball tournament, we want to promote a lot of the protective factors that are out there for
Yes.
kids. I think a lot of times we look at the doom and gloom of substance use, and it can feel very despairing. And I think what we try to do is remind everyone in the community that there's a way, that's an alternative.
Now, if there are kids or their parents listening to this show right now, can you give them an email address, a phone number where they can contact you to get involved?
Of course.
Well, I know a lot of folks in the community obviously know who I am. They know who
Yes.
Smokey is. They're actually getting to know Gretchen more and more. So they can reach out to me through my phone number, which is my work phone number at 617-320-9058, or just you run into me, we can talk about it then, and then I'll put you guys in touch with Gretchen, and we can sign them up.
Yep.
And we
Repeat
meet on
that number again.
320-9058, 617.
we meet on the third floor of the Boys Club.
Okay.
Every
Basically.
Thursday at 5.
Okay, Thursday at 5.
And
So even if someone wants to come and maybe observe and see like what the meetings are like and what the groups are like and what we talk about, that's okay too. We
And
just
what's
as
the
long as we
age group? What is the age?
generally between 14 and I'll say 20, 23
Oh,
or
great.
25.
Good,
I think
good.
it's an adolescent time period.
Great.
And also we've got a basketball tournament coming up on.
Yeah, when is that?
So we have the pasta dinner on Friday, April 1st.
Thank you to
from-
Tony Ince for donating
Yes.
the food.
Down at the YMCA from, I think it's 5:30 to 7.
Will this be in the Patriot Bridge?
Yes.
Okay,
There
so
was an
look for
ad
it
today
there.
actually in the bridge,
Oh,
and we'll have
good.
another one next week. And then the basketball tournament is Saturday, April 2nd from 12. We say 12 to 5. It'll probably be over around 3 down at the community center. And I want to say thank you to Gerard Doherty because he was a sponsor
Great.
along
Oh,
with
he's a
Kim
wonderful
Mahoney
man.
and
Warren Tavern.
Warren.
Okay,
And Whole
speaking
Foods.
about the Warren Tavern and Kim Mahoney, we have a little film that we're going to show
Yes.
about now, where 3 of the girls went down to the Warren Tavern,
Yep.
spoke with Kim Mahoney about giving a donation for the basketball tournament to make it possible. Now, who are the girls involved in this?
So I think it was McGinney, Omar, Marvina White, and Lainey Lindeen Monaco.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Can we go into the tape and watch this, folks?
Yeah.
What would you look for me to help to donate? What are you looking for me to donate here today? Would you like me to sponsor the tournament? And what way would I be able to sponsor the tournament as a Warren Tavern?
T-shirts, food, prizes.
So the prizes will be awards. Okay. But you're looking today, I think, for just more of a monetary scholarship, right? Meaning you don't want me to just give you money instead of a gift card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. And what are the levels that I can participate?
So the gold member is 500, the silver is 3, and the bronze is 100.
Okay.
And your name will be bigger if you do the 500.
Right, which is a very, like you said, is a very good marketing tool.
Yeah,
Good for you.
and then the silver will be medium, and then the bronze will be like.
Okay. Do you have any stories from last year? What made the fundraiser a success, or?
There was more kids.
The T-shirts, everyone liked the T-shirts
Yeah.
a lot.
And you brought a community together for a day of kids, of teenagers, right? What are the ages of the teenagers that participated?
They're like 10 to 11 or even older, 12.
Okay. What else is it about your program that you can tell me about? What other things do you do besides fundraisers, things like that? What is your mission? What do you do?
Try to educate other people about substance abuse.
Uh-huh. Okay. Any other things that you do? You meet? I assume you meet? So it's
Every
similar-
Thursday.
Every Thursday. And you said how many kids? 14?
15 and 20.
15 to 20 kids meet every Thursday. That is excellent. And so that's similar to a peer leadership program that I grew up with. And like I said earlier, before, I was telling Cookie that I was involved with one of the first preventative drug programs there was in Charlestown, up at the Boys and Girls Club it started. And I think it was just called like Just the Facts. And Peter Looney actually was the one who started that up. And from there, like I said, I just was a kid who just showed up at the club and said, I'll do this because I have nothing else to do. And from it, I learned so much. And it armed me with life skills that I was able to use as a teenager and then later in life. And I think that these programs are very important because it's going to help you, especially your generation, navigate through all the things that come your way, drugs and alcohol and so many other pressures that you face, far more than I ever did, for sure. And then from there, I went down to the community center as a teenager, became a peer leader with the city of Boston, and I was involved with Mimi Wren down in community centers and Carolyn Wren Shannon, and Michelle Gorman, and they were strong women in my life, and I can see that you have strong role model women in your life as well, and that's very important because you can learn from them, and you can learn a great deal from them, and they also help you, and that you can always go back to them and call them up. Even as an adult, I talk to Carolyn all the time, and Mimi all the time, and I speak to Michelle. Michelle is now in heaven, but I speak to her a lot too. So I commend you for what you do. It's important. Like I said, you might not appreciate it now, but you'll appreciate it later on in life, for sure. So these programs are very near and dear to my heart, like I say, And I'd certainly like to become a gold member today. And I'm going to challenge other businesses to do the same. And I'm going to use that, my vehicle as a vice president of the Charlestown Chamber to do that for you as well, help you with that. And if there's any doors that you need opened in the business world, within the community, I'm happy to help you with that. And you always have a friend in me down here.
Gal, she's the manager down, one of the managers down at the Warren Tavern, and the tavern has been so generous to so many organizations, but she went above and beyond for Turn It Around when we had a visit down there with her. I went with Turn It Around. With me now, folks, you're not seeing, something wrong here. To my immediate left is the president of Turn It Around, Krista Matthews.
Thanks for having
My
me.
tongue twisted, Krista Matthews. And the treasurer, Mark Robinson. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you're here. Now you're going to be able to talk to me about the program from your perspective. How long have both of you, either of you, been a part of this program?
Well, I've been a part of it since the start. We started in the spring of 2012, and I was a junior in high school.
Oh, wow. And you're
years.
still with it.
Yes.
That is fantastic. And how about you, Krista?
I started in the fall of 2013, so I'm going on 3 years.
Fantastic.
Yep.
That's great. And why did you join? How did you find out about it? Why did you join?
Well, he originated it, so.
Well, I grew up the club, and that's where CSAC is based. And this was, like my colleague said, Sarah Coughlin's idea to bring the youth together. And I mainly joined just because I was personally affected by the dangers of drugs. So I wanted to just give back to my community and help try to make a difference in the community of Charlestown.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. How about you, Krista?
So I'm not from Charlestown, but I mean, I've been with him for 5 years, so I saw this as like a great opportunity to get involved with something that is a big impact on many people.
Great.
So
All right. Do you take what you what you've learned, back to your community?
yeah, I try to.
That's
So,
great. So it's spreading. It's,
Yeah.
It's not just something that's taking place in Charlestown.
Yeah, we're spreading, so
Good. Oh, that's fantastic.
we want
Because
to.
it's such a great program. I'm so glad to hear that. That is wonderful. Why do you think the work this program does is so important? Why do you think it's important?
I think it's important because when I was growing up, there wasn't a program like this to just educate these young kids and adolescents about what's going on out in the streets and these dangerous drugs and what they could actually do to you. And this program is, like my colleague said, we're from 14 to 23, so we've been there, we're still there, and we're just giving back. And
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
I mean, the people using are getting younger and younger.
Yeah.
So it's starting earlier, and I mean, we're young, so I feel like we have that, we have the knowledge. I mean, both me and him, we saw firsthand what addiction does to people. So I feel like the knowledge and our experiences, what we saw, what we went through, we can give back and educate the youth, the adolescents, teenagers. I feel like they can relate to us.
Yes, they can relate to you. Let me put you on the spot. Now, you said you outreach. What do you do as an individual to help the younger kids not to get involved in drugs?
well, I just tell them the truth.
Good,
I mean,
good.
what drugs will actually do to you and where it can lead you. I wasn't so smart growing up, so now I got to work twice as hard to get where I want to be. So I try to tell the younger kids to, your dreams can come true. I mean, but you just got to work hard. You have to work hard, and drugs are they're just extras in life, and there's no time for them.
That's right. That's a great way of putting it. But, and I'm sure that they would listen to you more than they would listen to someone who they think I remember when my kids were younger, anyone over 30 was just like so old.
Yeah, they
So-
feel lectured.
Yes, really. Yeah, what do
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
you know,
they feel
but
judged.
They
I
would
mean,
listen to you
Yeah,
too.
we're
and-
similar. We're close in age, so I feel like we're
Yeah.
non-judgmental.
Right,
We're honest.
right.
We can
right.
relate.
And do you feel as if they're receptive to what you're saying? And
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, they did. They soak it in a little bit, but.
I have people I grew up with Facebook messaging me, like asking, what are you doing? Like, can you help me? Where are meetings? And that feels good. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is so good. Do you have anything else you want to add? Do you want to push the basketball tournament? What is?
Yeah,
tell us?
definitely.
Yeah.
We're having our second annual basketball tournament, April 1st and 2nd. The second is the actual tournament. The first is our pasta dinner. We have, we're going to do some educational work there with the youth. I think it's ages 10 to 18. So that's where we come in and we'll give them the educational perspective on the dangers of drugs and
that's
alcohol, substances, I should say.
So you're giving them an opportunity to get together. They might not know each other. They're not necessarily from the group that's already involved in turning around. Hopefully they'll join. So you're getting all these kids together and get to know each other, and they'll, on Friday night they'll all have a nice pasta dinner, and then the next day they'll come and they'll play basketball and the tournament. And do they put the teams by age groups or?
Yep, they're separated into age groups, and then they sign up individually, and from there we pick the teams and put them on teams. So it's a way of everyone not being together. All because you know someone, you're not on a team together.
That's great.
We're getting people from all the parts of Charlestown.
Oh,
I mean, it's so
that's
small,
great.
but there are parts of Charlestown.
There
and we're
are.
getting
There
them
always
together.
was. I mean, they were when I was growing up.
Giving them something to do other than sit on the street. So.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask the adults to come back in and join us. I know that there weren't so many microphones, but come back in, folks. Mike, and I know the only one that has a microphone is Gretchen, because the other two gave their mics to the kids. So is there anything else you want to add to this?
Yeah, if you want to donate to the basketball tournament, we're taking donations.
Great.
So you can contact Mikey, Shannon, Gretchen,
Gretchen,
one of us.
if they want to send a donation, what is an address that they can send it to?
So we're located at 15 Green Street in Charlestown. We're at the Boys and Girls Club, and if they want to make out a check to the Charlestown Boys and Girls Club with the subject heading being Turn It Around.
Fantastic.
It has to say turn it around in the memo.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, you know, all the mail that they would get at the Boys and Girls Club, so we have to make sure that Turn It Around is on the envelope. And I know any donation would be gratefully appreciated. And that will help. Any money raised now, even though this is a great idea onto itself to get kids together, but money will help you continue the program. And
we have a lot of stuff planned. So.
Do you? You want to mention? I guess we have another minute left here.
Gearing up for Recovery Month in September.
Yep, September's Recovery Month. We have a barbecue to kick it off every year. Then we do our vigil, and hopefully we can get a guest speaker again this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. I want to, we have a phone call. Phone call. Caller, hello?
Hi there, Cookie. How are you tonight?
Good, Jean. How are you?
I'm very interested in this, and I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, some 80 years ago, we had Christian Endeavor. The three Protestant churches kept us busy. I read a lot, and that was one of my hobbies, and going to meetings was another one. We did a lot of good work. We went to Long Island with gifts, you know, and things like that. So they kept us busy. Thank you so much, and God bless you for your work.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's it. I have to wrap up. Thank you all very much for being here. Good luck with the tournament. And let me close out here by saying, you know, Charlestown Beyond is dedicated to the Harvest on the Vine. And I talked to Tom McDonald today, and they're looking for potatoes, spuds. So if you could drop off a small bag of potatoes down at the Cooperative Bank, 201 Main Street, or down at Harvest on the Vine on Vine Street, I know that they would greatly appreciate it. So thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day from all of us here tonight. And remember, Charlestown, take care of one another. Good night.